What's good, fam? Sorry, it's early in the morning. But Teacher Eddie here with a reaction to Freshy Canal. So a lot of you guys in the comments have been saying, hey man, you love the ERBs? Check out Freshy Canal. So this one was a request. Charlie Chaplin versus Mr. Bean. I am a huge fan of Charlie Chaplin. I have seen everything, all of his shorts, all of his movies. Mr. Bean, not so much, not super familiar with Mr. Bean, but I've seen some of his stuff. I do enjoy Rowan Atkinson. He can be very funny, but sometimes he can be a little too much. But in either case, man, I'm very excited to do this one because I do love movies. I love the history of movies and all that jazz. So without further ado, let's get into the battle. Ooh, I like the old-timey feel.
Charlie Chaplin, gorgeous! Mr. Bert!
Let me break the signs if you couldn't already tell. It's the only act bigger than the industry itself. I'm a ladies' man whilst you're a baby man child. You're the
Ooh, Charlie. Careful with that, Charlie. Be very careful with that line right there. So he said, break the silence. So, of course, Charlie Chaplin started out during the silent era. And then famously, even when talkies came around, the first big talking motion picture being Al Jolson's The Jazz Singer. But throughout the 30s, Chaplin still kept on making silent movies because he felt the tramp should never speak. That was his big feeling. Chaplin did do talking movies, probably his most famous one being The Great Dictator, which came out, I think 1938 or 39. And I think I talked about it before, but Chaplin received a lot of ridicule for making that movie, for lampooning and making fun of Hitler and Mussolini. Because, hey man, there were a lot of supporters, believe it or not, of Hitler at the time in the United States. But then, of course, after the war was over, the atrocities were known. Chaplin was, applauded as a visionary, a hero, and everything else. But in the movie, he plays dual parts. He plays the tramp, but he also plays the Hitler parody. So the tramp doesn't speak, but the Hitler parody that he does speak in the movie. He is obviously one of the, most well-known, even over 100 years later, everybody knows Chaplin pretty much. But this line,
only act bigger than the industry itself. I'm a ladies' man whilst you're a baby.
I'm a ladies' man whilst you're a baby man-child. So yeah, Chaplin was a ladies' man. Chaplin was married several times, cheated on all his wives. His last wife was Una O'Neill. And the big issue with Chaplin was the child brides. So calling a baby man-child when you were pretty much robbing the cradle your entire life, Charlie, that's pretty tough right there.
Man-child, you're the face of stranger danger with that rapey damn smile. Got a lady friend that you sure want to charm a lot, but you can never slot your mini in a parking spot. The last woman you went on was the queen. I'll kick you off set, I'm experienced with flicking beans.
Flicking beans, man. So he's going in hard on Charlie there with all the different, like you trying to get laid, man, but that creepy ass smile, that's the face of stranger danger. I can't disagree, man. He does have a creepy look to him, but all those references are basically like, yo man, I get pussy and you wish you could get pussy. So I'm gonna go ahead and flick that bean.
My name is Bean. I made 15 funny shorts in under 5 years, and I was more successful than your half a century long career.
Well, I don't know about that. Him being more successful than Chaplin. I mean, Mr. Bean is all great, and I do agree his shorts are much better than his movies. Like, he's good in small quantities versus like feature-long movies, even though he's made several movies. I don't know if they were successful or not, but you know, I guess because they keep making them, I guess people are seeing them. But I do like a lot. I've seen mostly like his shorts, and they were very funny. But to say that, you know, you're more successful than the person who's pretty much synonymous with comedy and film, it's a little much.
You're sorry because technology wouldn't let you speak it. I didn't talk cause I didn't need to have the whole world get me. I made my comedy speak for itself like Teddy.
That's a fair point. So he's saying technology didn't allow Chaplin to speak, even though Chaplin then, the technology was available, but Chaplin still chose not to speak. But Bean is pretty much like I did Boba Fett versus Deadpool actually yesterday, ERB, and one of the like dopest points was, you know, Deadpool, yeah, you got to talk a lot, but I had 5 lines in the original trilogy, and I'm still one of the most memorable characters, which is a testament to the fact that I didn't have to say much, man. My shit just speaks for itself. And Bean is saying, he's making a good point. He's like, I didn't have to speak, man, because my comedy just spoke for itself. But then again, so did Chaplin's, literally.
The trap struggle to keep a lady. Jeez, cranking through wedding rings like gears in a machine.
Like gears in a machine. That's
The trap struggle to keep a lady. Jeez, cranking through
This is a reference to Charlie Chaplin's movie Modern Times, where he lampoons and parodies and makes, of course, so because a lot of Charlie Chaplin's movies were social commentaries on things of the time, like The Great Dictator, and Modern Times was that, you know, about you know, factories and machinery taking over, automation and all these things. But there is a scene where he is going through all these different gears in a machine, so this is a reference to that. Ooh, he went there. He called him out on it. I love it. Yeah, cranking through wedding rings like gears in a machine. So yeah, Chaplin was married and divorced several times, but he goes after him and calls him out on the next line. The FBI would see you flee because you liked them early in the bed. Yeah, he did. He did. He would definitely be somebody who wouldn't just be Me Too'd today, Chaplin, but basically also, you know, called out as a pedo.
In the bed, right? Would it have hurt to try a turkey on your head instead? Oh, it's still my rap. Well then, chap, I must ask, why would you go through all that effort to make fun of Hitler and then look in the mirror at your get-up thinking, oh, I'll keep the mustache?
Because he had the mustache first, man. It was, I mean, before Hitler, it was known as the Chaplin mustache, because it was so recognizable. But then Hitler came in, and then it became the Hitler mustache. He ruined it for everybody, man. But even Laurel and Hardy, Hardy had the Hitler mustache as well. It was actually a very popular style of mustache at the time. But then Hitler ruined that shit for everybody.
Film real cause I see through your rap. It's fitting the beans leaving nothing but hot gas. Pitiful, your comedy used to be universal. Now you're only getting Snickers when you sell out for commercials. Rocking the comedy.
Yeah. So I don't even know the last time I seen like an advert for a Mr. Bean movie, but I know he does a lot of commercials now.
Drama, this prodigy's got burst. Sounds like your Olympic cameo. One note, you're only slapstick. Go walking disaster tragic. The fact that you're somehow still alive. Magic. When I say
Well, I don't see why him being alive is magic.
Acting secretaries to actresses while everyone around you falls victim to Rowan's accident. With a YouTube channel, movies, pans, and tunes, you grasp with fans. After 30 years, they should have left us being canned.
You left your...
Yeah, so Chaplin made a reference there about turning secretaries into actresses, which he did. A lot of his leading ladies in his movies, basically he was trying to get laid, So, he would find, someone he found attractive and be like, yo, I could put you in the pictures. All you got to do, though, Harvey Weinstein. And of course, the Atkinson curse, he's saying, because your stuff bombs, all the people in your movies are cursed by you.
The mark on the industry, no question. But your pictures gave me a great depression. You kept your family backstage, it's quite a shame. But your mom in a cell, cause she had none in her brain.
Oh, damn! Vicious! Mr. Bean just went nuclear, son! You kept your family backstage, so yeah. Especially his brother, who also had aspirations of making movies and everything else. He did keep him backstage, basically. And his brother did, not hate him for it, but he did have a grudge about it. But this next line.
Your family backstage is quite a shame. Put your mom in a cell cause she had...
You put your mom in a cell because she had none in her brain. So he did commit his mother. Mental health issues were something that was in his DNA. It ran in his family. It was something Chaplin himself was very worried about, very concerned about, that it would happen to him eventually. But his mom was literally certifiably insane. And he had her committed. He put her in a cell because she had no cells in her brain. That's harsh, man. That's something that really haunted Chaplin, hurt him. He wrote a lot about it in his autobiography, My Autobiography by Charlie Chaplin, which is a great read, a great book. But that is a nuclear line right there, man.
Treat every woman the same. Misogynism and not public rules. Listen, stop putting your swimmers in them as fighters like your career. As soon as they put them...
Stop putting your swimmers in them, man. Mr. Bean is bringing it hard in this verse, man.
Biking and you started to speed. You took bigger dives than I did. Don't deny it, I can see why you're better off quiet. Petrified of sound cause daddy left you in silence.
Wow. Yo, he sealed the deal.
See why you're better off quiet. Petrified of sound cause daddy...
Wow, daddy left you in silence. That's why you're petrified of sound. God damn, yes, Chaplin was abandoned. Well, him and his brother were abandoned by their father and left with their mother, who, again, suffered from very serious and debilitating mental health issues. Eventually, they were taken away from their mother, and that was very hard on Charlie. But that line about the mother, put her in a cell because she had none in her brain, and you're petrified of silence, petrified of speaking because your daddy left you in silence. Yo, that sealed the deal, man. I got to give that one to Mr. Bean, son. I disagreed with, a few points Mr. Bean made, especially towards the end there when he said, your movies left me in a depression. Oh, man, Chaplin's movies are timeless, brilliant. Still funny to this day, still thought-provoking as well. But in that rap, because Charlie spent too much time on him being a ladies' man and Mr. Bean can't get laid, and I was like, man, that you shouldn't have gone there, man. You just set yourself up for disaster on that one. But that was a fun matchup, Freshy Canal. I like that, man. Mr. Bean versus Charlie Chaplin, man. Again, I gotta give it to Mr. Bean, man. He went nuclear in that last. He went scorched earth on that last verse, man. But I thoroughly enjoyed that. Very very fun, very interesting, well made. Obviously, they're taking a lot of inspiration from ERB. The lines were okay, but like I said, they can work on more intricate raps with better references, because a lot of it was just the same thing throughout the entire verse. But again, they did a great job with, a few of those lines, like I mentioned, especially going in on his parents, his family, and all that stuff. But either case, fam, thank you so much for the requests. Keep them coming. And as always, let me know down in the comment section, what was your favorite line? Do you think Chaplin won? Do you think Bean won? Do you disagree? Do you agree? And as always, thank you so much for the love. If you want to support the show, please check out the links in the description for the Discord, the Patreon, social media links, and of course the podcast, Getting Strange with Eddie and Allie, which drops every Thursday on every major podcast streaming service and is live every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, right here on YouTube. I've been Teacher Eddie. I'll catch you next time. Fam! There you go. Came out better that time. And as always, shining out the Patreons who keep things running here, starting with the Chancellors, Elena G, Nazvanyu, Douglas C, KP, the Hollow King, the Principals, Aaron Shepard, Addison, Clement, Vijandra, Rachel, Alex, King Panda, Freeman, Moody Kakati, Nathan, Chad, Chris Debago, Sophia, Robin, Lord Gandalf, Luna, Harry, Robin, and Blue Tech, and of course, Rasmus. I've been Teacher Eddie, and I'll catch you next time.